There are 1 billion male teenagers on the planet today facing a 50-year career being a man and no fucking idea how to do it.
Hello and welcome to What is a Rite of Passage. Our guest today is the legendary Brad Burp. I'm going to start again. Blurp. Hello and welcome to What is a Rite of Passage. Our guest today is the legendary Brad Leslie, a realtor, a musician, a craftsman and founder of Young Men's Adventure Weekend in Vancouver, BC, and Kingmakers worldwide. We acknowledge the Jara people, the traditional custodians of the lands where this is being recorded. We acknowledge elders and knowledge holders, past, present and emerging. And may their ceremonies and initiations be remembered and feed and heal the country on which we live, work and play. Welcome, Mr. Brad Leslie. What do you got there?
Oh, I carve and working on the staff. It's one of the ones with a talking stick, there's a raven at the top, and there's a salmon here, and a gnarly grizzly bear, and an eagle here, and someone else. And it's in process. I've got to figure out the rest of it. The spirits that come and talk through me and to me, and I make things.
This brings me to a question that I usually ask around self-regulation and what you do to get your heart to sing.
What's the word self-regulation mean? It's a new term for me.
Is it really? Okay. So, what is it that you're doing when you're most you?
Oh, when I'm on?
Yeah, when you're on.
Piano, guitar, carving, running meetings one-on-one with men. I do a lot of that. It's like I go through the day and I drive to the office and make dinner and putzing along at a 2 out of 10. And when I'm in the upper, where I know the magic happens, it's game on. You'll probably see that next hour on this chat. And I know where it is. If I get into a slump, I'll just phone one of my men, or I'll go bang a piano, or one of the guitars. It's I have this waterfall volcano running through me, and I know that where it comes from. I know what it can do, and it's got to find places to do it. We'll get more into that later on.
You know, tell us a little bit about, what you're bringing to this conversation and where you're coming from.
Well, I'm coming from a little town of White Rock outside of Vancouver, British Columbia. A gorgeous beach down here. I lived in Vancouver for 50 years or so. In my real estate jobs, I don't want to do too much of the history stuff, but through real estate in the 80s or so, I did every course going. And apart from the ones that are sales techniques, a lot of them are the image of Tony Robbins and Landmark. I'm great, your power, your spirit, I'm gonna fucking give it. And a lot of those things woke things up. And we used to do these purpose statements. Oh, my life all dead at it. I would say this poetic stuff and was fumbling along. And I started producing men's events, like Wild Men's Weekends out in the bushes. Totally outrageous, fun, safe, nothing illegal. And after one of these things, me and my buddy Andy were chatting like typical Monday morning quarterbacks. Oh, they could have done this. They should have done that. Well, I would have done this. Because we've seen a few of these events. And Andy says, we should do a weekend just for teenagers. And I says, without thinking, you're going to have to fight to get me out of your back pocket. Let's do it. So like noon on that Monday, the last Monday in January 1990, I think it was. Let's do it. Oh, fuck, what did I just say? And 3 months later, in June, we had 50 teenagers and 25 men's on an island up a lodge. And we, it was like a men's weekend format. But the young men are in teams, and we cobbled together a bunch of quasi-spirit things and self-discovery things and wild games and classrooms without walls, and a lot of stations with elders. I am the raven. If you come into my kingdom, you must answer the question. You must do this. That would speak to the man in him that he's about to become that he didn't know was going to be. And it's cool. I can see now that we're totally divinely guided to do this work. Next year, the men said, hey, let's do that thing again. What? That? Yeah, all right. So we did it again. And next year, hey, let's do that thing again. So we did it again. And after a while, all right, hang on. It's like, it was, all right, I'm coming. All right, I'm coming. Dragging me along. And then next year, all right, hang on. Let me get my boots on. I'm coming. Let's get to work. I need 50 men. And it had a life of its own, and it was dragging me along. It wasn't me creating, I'm not going to build that house and with the 2x4s. It has a life of its own. It's dragging me along. And I became initially the grumbling servant. Now I'm the ecstatic custodian, guarding the gate for this thing. So it's the spirit realm, the angels, whatever you call them these days, saying that we need some more good men on the planet. And this is a pretty high impact, fast turnaround way of bringing out the best in teenagers. It's easy to build a good man to fix a broken one. So we can catch him in the teenage years and bit of a course correction. And then since then, we've just kept going. And every year there's something different. We learn something. A lot of folks call them fuck ups. We call them lessons. No, won't do that again. It's very organic. But I've been the ultimate beneficiary of all of this. Because if you do one whoop-de-doo self-discovery weekend, respectfully MKP or Sterling or Landmark, I'm a hero. You do it once. We're involved in about 100 of these things. And the teenagers go through, and we're doing for the teenagers, they're gone. And the one continuous respondent or the participant is me.
Yeah.
And every time we do it, keeps up leveling. So it's, I'm mortally grateful for the path that initially the angels dragged me along, that I'm now walking.
And for our Australian audience who might not know what you're talking about, that's 36 years ago, and that's Young Men's Adventure Weekend, yeah?
Yeah, Vancouver's Young Men's Adventure Weekend. We started January 1990, doing other things for 4 or 5 years before that. But this is where this thing got formalized. And then again, it's just a ragtag thing. And then 96, we formed a society, and then got a business license and did all those things that would conform to society. So it's 36 years, and I've been the continuous one. Most men come in for 3-5 years, and it fluffs them up, and we've got some 10, 15-year men. Lyle is 25 years in, and my son Dorian's in from day one. So he's 35 years in, and he's been running them. If I go down, he's in charge.
Yep. Yeah.
And it's emulated through the States, and various other ones have copied, emulated, used as guidelines. I give it all away. If you want to do something, great. Here's my production model. Here's the context of what to do. What does your community need? What's your language? How do you do these things? Let's build something. We should make a buck on it.
Yeah, that seems to be the big mystery.
Don't go there. Don't go.
Look, you spoke earlier about California took the model on, and they've called it Young Men's Ultimate Weekend.
Yep.
Yeah. So this curiosity is probably coming in a little bit early, but are these experiences transformational?
Oh, darling.
If so, why is it not in the title? Why is it not called Young Men's Transformational Weekend?
I don't know. It's what we came up with day one. It stuck. And it fits on our hats.
Yep.
YMAW. I should. My insurance guy gave me a license plate. YMAW.
Yep.
Are they transformational? Holy fucks! Put a beep out thing on this. Women don't watch it, but please do, because you'll
Women
appreciate.
don't watch this show.
Um, so here's one. So after the weekend, all the men are knocking the camp down, and I follow the 2 school buses back to the parking lot in Vancouver to greet the parents. If there's any smoothing to be done and whatever. And 2 buses went in. I'm waiting for traffic. The first bus stops over there, and I park over here. And my son's on the first bus. He gets off, and there's a dad over there, and I can see them talking. And then something, and then all of a sudden, I see Dorian, my son. Yeah, there's Brad over there, and this dad clears the parking lot 200 yards in about 3 bounds. Big burly fella, bear hugs me, flying it, smacks him on the back, kissing me, crying. Thanks for such an amazing fucking weekend. What? The guy just got off the bus. How'd you know? I said, hey, son, how was your weekend? And he said, and my son looked me in the eyes and said, it was great, Dad. And he went, he's never looked me in the eyes before. Yeah, it's fucking transformational. Let me do a couple long stories. The trajectory. There's 2 of them. The arc of the angel and the arc of the man. Depending on your favorite mythology, we got this divine spark inside of us. You don't know exactly what it is or where it is, but when it's not there, you know you're dead, right? So it's the absence of that which just keeps you alive. It's like a little spark in it, whatever. And everyone's got a different story for it. But it's the same activating principle. Before we're born, these activating principles, like a little grain of sand or salt, sugar, is off in the universe wherever the angels and souls come from. And the soul says, I want to get born then. With those parents, that society and all. Okay. And then, because the angels, when they're where angels live, they're full of all the angelic qualities of healing, loving, compassion, vision, healing, loving, compassion, creativity, healing, love. They're just little sparks of God. Lovely. Inside of the holes. And then, okay, I'm going to get born. Plunk. And they're born. Pow! And they forget. Totally forget. And then society conspires to pull us away from ourselves with war as a way of life, continual financial paranoia, diversity, fighting factions. You can't say that, or whatever the topic of the week is. No eldership, no spirit guidance, no genealogy through the ages. There's a gazillion, and the disaster of the year, if it's COVID or a war or earthquake, who fucking cares? All of these factors conspire to pull us away from our souls. But it's still there. Maybe late in life, you'll sit under a tree and, you know what? I'm going to do something different. And one by one, or you might run into someone kind of cool and you'll read a book, or few of us start nudging our way back. But society conspires to pull us away from ourselves. What I seek to do is bring us home. So there's no religion or magic in it. Just bring you home to your own core power. The thing with this little angel speck of, I'm going to make a little flying raven.
Yeah.
A raven. Right. When the spark arrives inside you, it's a divine spark. So 1, you're an angel. There, I just told you. You're an angel. You're special. Everyone watching this. 2, the angel, the spark, the divine, the daemon, the guy calls it in one of the books, he has a gift. His uniqueness. It's raising 3 kids. It's doing a business. It's a ambulance driver. It's a musician, whatever. He has a unique gift that's totally unique to that one person, because there's 8 billion of us. We're all different. And that angel in you has a gift and a purpose. One, you're an angel, you got a gift, you got a purpose. That's my context for what we're doing here. And we craft these weekends with a bunch of processes and different things to bring us back in here. So when the teenagers arrive at the bus stop on the Friday afternoon, I got a bunch of baggy jeans and backwards baseball caps and fuck you attitudes. And what the fuck am I? Yeah, a bunch of little gangsters like that. What the fuck am I doing with these little shits? You know, they're just, oh God, not again. And they get in the bus and they go, I don't want to be here and you can't make me. And they're just little shits. Exactly 48 hours later, the bus comes home back to the parking lot and the bus explodes. You think they won the Super Bowl. They're hugging, they're kissing, they're high-fiving, shoulder shots. And the men there, they were scowling at us on day one. Huge hugs. I've got to see you next year, man. Da, da, da. Pow, pow, 24 hours. That's the arc of the angel. The arc of the man in man's born, his first 10 years, he's in what I call mommy's world. He's fed. He's got a nice warm bed. Mommy and daddy love him 60% of the time. Goes to school, plays soccer, has some friends, chase the chickens around, has an apartment, got a dog. He's totally nurtured and taken care of. He's nurtured and his needs are taken care of. It's lovely. It's part of life. Moms do a great job. God bless them. Up to 10. When you're over 20, you're in man's world. And in man's world, you get a job, you pay your way, you're responsible, or get a fucking shopping cart. I don't care. Yeah, game on. Now, the first part of man's world is the warrior. You know those things, the warrior, the king, the wizard, and the other guy? So the first 20 years, 20 to 10, from 20 years, the first chunk of man's world is warrior's world. That's where all the soldiers are 18 to 20 years old, 25. But it's polite wars. You have to fight for a job. You have to fight for a position in society. You have to fight to get into college. You have to fight to make the team. You have to fight for the fight means bring out your best to prevail against whatever circumstances. You have to fight against your own bad habits to prevail. So the first chunk of man's world is warrior's world. So my secret inner title for this is Young Men's Weekend is Warrior Training. And it's not someone's a boyfriend club. No, I'm looking at how that man can be useful for the rest of his life. So going back to summarize, under 10 years old, you're in mom's world because you have needs met. Your needs are met. And there's nurturing because your needs have. And you're needy. When you're over 20, you're in man's world, you're responsible. Responsible, integrity, and all those other manly qualities. What we see way too often is men in their 20s, 30s, and 40s who are still needy. They need approval. They need attention. They need da-da-da-da. And they need their drugs. They need. That's the cycle. And that's the corruption of society. We're not going to go there, but we all know the stats. But when man is, bang, I'm home. This is who I am. And this is my mission. This is what I'm doing. Not obnoxious and bashing anyone else around, but just clearing a trail. So, the arc of the angel, we arrive as an angel with a gift and a purpose. And the man goes from needy. Oh, the fun part is in the teenage years, the adolescence, that's when all the ancient traditions, rites of passage, initiations, all the tests, and some of them historically might have sounded a little barbaric. But when the village raised the cute little guy until he was 10, 11 years old, and okay, time for initiation, because now we want to see what kind of a man you're going to be, to see how useful what your gift is going to look like in our village. So they kind of not kill off the young man, but they need, in the village, they need every man standing. So the initiations were crafted to draw out the man that he's going to be. Give him a lot of challenges so he can find himself. That happens in the adolescence, teenage years. So
10 to 20.
Yeah, 10 to, generically. I do 12 to 17s, other ones do 13 to 25.
Yeah.
But that's when you go from mom's world to man's world. And it could be a succession of things or one or two significant things. You never know. So there. It's kind of like the theoretical framework of what we do here.
Yeah, great. And so I don't know whether it's on purpose, but I really feel like you skimmed over that period between 10 and 20. And
Well, no,
I get
we've got hours for that. Hours.
a. Yeah, well, what arises for me is in Australia, what we call this is a contemporary rite of passage. It's
Yeah,
something that we crafted out of a need and cobbled together out of some information that we had.
yeah.
Um, and there was an anthropological evidence that this is what most societies did, and we
They all did.
recognise that
They all
it's
did.
missing. And I think what you've just spoken to is a real scaffold for what I think, in a very raw and basic sense, you've explained this scaffold for why we do what we do.
Yeah. It's every ancient indigenous society had forms of this for, I don't know, millions of years, whatever, how long they've been doing it. Um, mm, um, where, and the stories all over the place. Well, here's the thing where the content of these events, there's some that are like 9-hour Catholic mass. Everything's like totally scripted, and you do this and you say that, and I'm going to do this. And um, I prefer to keep ours flexible. We have the same arc of the thing, but it varies every time. So we can, if we have 48 hours to the young men, by the time we carve off bus time, sleeping time, and meal breaks, I'm left with 20 hours for content.
Yeah.
That's it. And into the archives, every initiation there's ever been, and all the ancestors are whispering, oh, you got to do this. How about archery? How about canoes? How about this? All the archives of whatever was, whatever the angels are inspiring me to say today, whatever the men need, and whatever society has to offer that's a good modality today. So out of all that, we put 20 hours of, we build the cauldron and then put everyone in, and then the magic happens and the schedule goes out the window anyway. Um, so the content is, it seems to be right for the people that, the man at the time. Certain magic is about it.
And how are things tracking now? Something that as I really put my ears to the ground, what I'm hearing is I hear a lot about the difficulty to subscribe for these events, and that's been my personal experience. Uh, and a part of me asks this question: is it relevant? Is it needed? The previous interview that I did was, it's needed, but a need doesn't mean it's a want. So is this what teenagers need? Yes. Or is this what families need? Yes. Is this what families want?
Yeah.
No. Not everyone wants to send their teenager on a rite of passage, regardless of whether they need it or not. So what do you notice in the 40 years or something that you've been doing this? How does this track for you? Like I spoke to Villa about it. He's like, oh yeah, it's the impossible, you
Yeah.
know, challenge. It's like it's always been hard. This is what the elders tell me. They say it's always been hard. Um,
Yeah.
Tell me more.
I've got like 27 bullet points or fired you all at once. Let's do it this way. Visual aid time, children.
Sure.
Here's a uh, triangle, a pyramid, and there's look at my camera here. There's camera over there. It looks like I'm looking at you. There you go.
Yeah.
Here.
Yep.
There's 8 billion people on the planet right here.
Hmm.
And this scale here is age from 0 to 100. And this is 8 billion people. And not talking about girls and women right now. Off you go. So there's 4 billion males on the planet. Above 20, it's like that kind of a pyramid. There's a lot more younger ones than they're old. So above 20 years old is about 1.5 billion. And below 20 years old is about 1.5 billion. 1.5 and 1.5 is 3. From 4 is 1 billion male teenagers. So there's 1 billion male teenagers on this planet who are going to be the next generation of men, who are going to be our doctors, lawyers, all of
Husbands.
kings' husbands and husbands for your daughters. 1 billion of them. And for a long time I said, our target market is the 1 billion teenagers who are the next generation of men. So I'm working exclusively for my personal context is the next generation of men. Lately I've added another bit to that sentence. There's 1 billion male teenagers out there facing a 50-year career of being a man with no fucking idea how to do it. They don't know integrity. They watch Trump and they watch shoot 'em up, bang, bang video games. And they're addled with single moms, put them on Ritalin. They're, I don't know. And their souls are just muted. They're just so muted that they'll never wake up. The need is even greater than ever before. And I've seen over time that there's zero appetite out there for the planet. There's zero appetite for what we're trying to give. I'm trying to give away $1 million here to every teenager and every man that participates. Your life will be enhanced by $1 million right now. Do one of these things, hang out with some good guys, and what you learn, glean, grok will enhance you for the rest of your life. The young men I've seen from 40 years ago, now they're 40 and 50 years old. There's some freaking rock stars out there. Because when a man has, I don't know, context, why you're doing so, a higher purpose, I want to make a difference out there. They have codes of honor, personal standards. What were those things you were talking about? Radical self-responsibility.
Yeah.
All of these self-reinforcing things that come from our teenagers. In the battle of life, they're going to come out head and shoulders above. So if I can get 50 or 100. One year, the biggest I heard was 1,000 teenagers through all the different Kingmakers events back in the winter was, which doesn't even come close to teenage suicides or fentanyl overdoses. They're dying faster than we can get to them. But the ones that we get to, they're not all rock stars, but they know the difference. See, one of the sneaky things is they're spending a weekend with my men of good heart, I call them. The guys that are flipping burgers, the elders in the camp, so they're team shadows, the team elders, or whatever processes we're doing. And there's like usually 50 or 60 men on the production team interacting, hanging out over, BSing around the fire circle over lunch. You know what? There's some good men out there. There's some really good men out there. I'm going to find some more like this. And they'll hang out with their soccer coach or this coach or that coach or, Uncle George, they have an experience of there are good men out there, which you don't get if you watch TV. Like all the media is just backstabbing bitches. Who can we fuck over this week? Another one of my sound bites is the average teenager doesn't have a very good picture of what an adult man is. He's the busted families, 50, 60% divorce rate. Dad's gone, missing, and the ones that are around are pussy whipped and henpecked, or they don't know what they're doing, or fumble around. They got their own dragons. School teachers, mostly women, shunting them off. They don't do sports anymore. There's no extracurricular. They don't go camping. Cops barking at them. You can't do this. You can't do that. Fumbling around on their own. So they don't have a very good picture of what an adult man is, which is a real drag because in 5 years they're going to be one. So who's teaching them how to be a man? one of us, or are they going to learn on the streets?
Yeah, or
Door
the
to door.
news or the internet.
Yeah. Yeah, there's Scott, what's his name, and Jordan Peterson. There's a number of really good men out there
Yeah.
on sound bites and reels, and they say lots of good stuff. Um, but if they're not going to learn from us or like us, where?
Mm. Tell me more about Kingmakers, man. So through Zilla, I met you on a Kingmakers call,
Yeah.
and I've still probably got a small understanding of the scope of Kingmakers and what it is. Can you tell us about it? Because it sounds like a pretty awesome network.
Yeah, it's amazing. Kind of quiet these days, though. So, 18, 20 years ago, something like that, another men's organization, MDI, based out of the States, they decided to have a big conference in Vegas. Because usually they go to some peripheral town and they whatever. They're pretty ragtag, but the guy runs, well, Vegas, all the flights go there, the hotels are there,
Mm,
the food's there. Yeah, it's
mm,
Vegas. But
mm,
so they had this event there. And I was, because a big page of my resume is event organization. Um, I'm helping to produce this thing. And it's funny that it's good. There was like close to 1,000 men there from all over North America. And these are the guys who are the knuckle dragging frontliners, the ones who are um, that are all organizing their teams or their towns or provincial or state bodies and whatever. And so I had a bunch of breakout sessions. And it was like how to meet women, how to get laid, how to get laid, how to get laid, dealing with finances, how to get laid, how to get laid.
yeah,
Is anybody talking about philanthropy, community service, helping out?
yeah,
Oh, no, 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 no. So on the Sunday morning was a plenary session where there's 800 men sitting in this room and there's head table and a microphone at the front of the hall, the front of the aisle. Okay, open mic. Anyone want to say anything about anything? And guys are talking about my church is this, we're doing that, or if you're in Boston, come and see me.
yeah,
And I go down there and say, Leslie here from Vancouver. I've been doing Young Men's Weekends for close to 20 years now. And is there anybody here interested in looking after the next generation of men? And there's rumbling volcanoes behind me, like there's 30 men all lined up behind me. And I say, you get names and numbers. Wednesday, 10 days from now, we're having our first meeting. And conference call back in those days. We had 30 men there. Where are you from? What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? And took a long time to figure out the name, the Kingmakers, because we figured out that through our efforts, we're going to raise at least one decent king. And we've seen a bunch of pretty good ones. And over the close to 20 years now, it's informal. It's every second Wednesday. It's on Zoom. And we've met probably 100 men from different organizations around North America, all different shades of initiation, rites of passage, church groups, Jewish guys, MKP, Boys to Men, all kinds of stuff. And the Kingmakers exist as an elders bench, seniors bench. No, elders bench for senior men of the organizations. One where we can go and talk to each other. They can't talk to the rank and file. And two, we exist as an archive for an archive and resource to support any other event that's going. Garrett Braun came in, joined the Kingmakers, started his own thing, and we supported the hell out of him. There's been a few other ones. And typically there'd be anywhere from 5 to 15. Usually run about 8 or 10, whoever's around. It's like a drop-in thing or a theme
mm,
of the week. But our email list says some of the best men in town is like me and you and 50 other ones. Same
mm.
gang. That's my gang. all busting our asses trying to save the planet one teenager at a time into a place where there's no appetite for what we're doing.
Yeah.
So what? We're doing it anyway.
We're doing it anyway. Yeah.
I was on a call this morning with a man a lot like you,
Mm.
same if it's grades, um,
Yeah.
Mickey something in Sweden, a Croatian guy, and he did MKP and something else, and he learned all the distinctions and the inner grief work and clean yourself out before you clean somebody else, all that stuff.
Mhm.
And he'd heard about initiation, so he's fumbling around to create his own things. And somewhere in Sweden, he's doing these um, week-long and year-long family initiations, addressing the same topic. How can we make our young men more better, more resilient, more useful out there instead
Mhm.
of another bad statistic? So they're all over the place, all over the place. There are good men making a difference. So the Kingmakers is this spider web.
Yeah. It's interesting. I shared with you before a context of mine, and that's coming clear to me only really recently. And it's through my strength, I connect to the strengths of others, and
Yeah,
it's a network. It feels like a network.
yeah.
Uh, and so, yeah, through my strength, I want to connect with this Mickey guy. So can you put me in touch with him? I want to connect with Jay Zifferman because I heard the interview with him on the Kingmakers podcast, and there's just a couple of things that he said that just really lit me up.
What?
Yeah, okay. So he talked about circular mentoring, and this is something that I've been discovering for myself and not really been in conversation. It's what I'm learning from the teens that I'm teaching, or what I'm learning from the teens that I'm being present to while they have their experience.
Let me address that one. Um, so one weekend, maybe 2004 or five, we're up in the mountains somewhere. And on the Saturday afternoon, they got in Friday afternoon and they're getting settled in and they're off with their teams. They're off in the forest dealing with elders and whatever, the challenging. If you could see you can read the energies sort of building up. And if you could see a cartoon of it, like the ground's shaking and the volcano blows up and the barn explodes, a cow flies through the air, the German dive bomber, and lightning flashing. And I'm sitting like the old guy by the campfire. There's a wisp of smoke coming up from the fire, and this is cool, because I love it when this is happening because I know what's going on. It's getting vibrant, fucking wild. And I said that when I start to get scared, it's going to be good. Going. And coming down the trail towards me through the forest, there's our shaman, a real live guy. And he's apoplectic. He cannot speak as if his hair's on fire. What the fuck? And if he could say, what the fuck's going on here? Because he can feel the ground shaking. What
Yeah.
is this? And I don't plan these things, they just come out of me. And I said, you know what? It occurs to me that whenever we, the men, put on initiation for them, the young men, we're all in the same cauldron and none of us are immune. We're all going to get something. Usually the next rung on our ladder, which is a little bit above and a little bit in front of us.
Yeah.
So who knows what you get? Like most of the courses, well, write 3 goals you want to get out of doing this weekend thing. I want to get a job. I want to talk to my dad. I want to get married.
Yeah.
But these, after I've done over 100 of these things. I don't ask any, but I know I'm going to get hit with something. Someone's going to get smashed before and you. So yeah, whenever we the men put on some initiation for them, the young men, we're all in the same cauldron. None of us are immune. We're all going to get something. So the men on production get their initiations through it. They think they're just service and flipping burgers or playing the soccer game. No, 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 no. The men, you're in the same room as a chunk of forest. And I often say that the teenagers that is the fucking excuse. The beneficiaries, the man who you on the production team 2 or 3 times, men just get hooked because they know something magical is going to happen in their life. And the teenagers come and go. Bye. but they're the one that's stuck with their DNA's being rearranged. Were we talking about that earlier in the call when the magic happens?
Mm.
Are these weekends transformational? I mean, they're fucking transformational.
Yeah. Well, I heard the water in the toilet flushes down the other way, where you are.
Yeah.
But apparently initiation works fucking in a very similar fashion that it does in Australia.
It's identical. You got the spirit, the angel inside of each man that's screaming to get out. And mom's, you're nurtured, you're kept alive, and then it's got to find its way out. But there's no appetite in society. They don't want to help this. They want to keep you stoned, and school teachers squash them down. They don't play outside in the forest anymore. They don't do soccer anymore. And they just turn gray and they're doom scrolling. They're not breeding anymore. They're not chasing girls anymore. You're looking at the decline of man. Here's a thing. Can we do this?
Do whatever you like.
Let's see. Trying to do a visual aid here. I don't have a whiteboard, so we can do it upside down.
Okay, sure.
It's a graph.
Yeah.
I got
Hold it up a little higher.
Let's see if I get a bigger felt tip. I do.
So for those of you listening, Mr. Leslie is drawing a graph.
Yeah. So, and with a horizontal line across like that.
With a horizontal line across like that.
So when we're born, we're here, and here's your soul, and here's your, as much as you can manifest in your life.
Yeah.
Right? Generally these days, you read the stats. My good friend Warren Farrell wrote the book The Boy Crisis, and it's the most disgusting book on the first half of the most disgusting book on the planet, because it's all the stats of what's happening out there. Suicide rates, lack of whatever. It's hideous. So generally, when you're born as a man, you're not even going to get 50% of your potential.
Yep.
If you live in a house without an active dad in your life, single moms, it's even worse. It's fucking hideous as far as the man manifesting his full potential. Not encouraged, got no training. And when mom and dad get divorced, somehow the dads get cut out and the uncles, there's no male upline. Don't get me going on that one. However, if they have a strong nuclear family, I know a good looking guy with 2 daughters and a good wife, it's better. If they're in sports teams, physical sports teams, soccer matches. I was on a radio show here the other day because FIFA's in town here, the soccer thing, and talking about soccer, physical contact sport, team sports are the single most effective and successful ways of helping a teenager survive his teenage years. Team sport.
Right.
If you do nothing else, buy him some soccer boots, cleat.
Yeah.
And it's a pair of cleats, $200, and you're in. And then, because you learn teamwork, you got to fight the enemy, the other team, so you learn how to fight. And then you got to fight the worst enemy, the one inside, to get up at 6 a.m. to start practicing and go to the gym. So you're fighting that demon. And then you got to communicate with your team buddies, and you got to show up on time because you can't win if the goalkeeper doesn't show up. There's a million lessons just playing in sports. It's easy. Oh, and they got a coach. This asshole just rides your ass. And at the end of the season, when you get the gold cup, tears, thanks you, man. Like he's asshole on the way, but then you feel like you realize he's your best hero. Soccer. So team sports, nuclear family, team sports, some kind of a community, church group, if in a small village, the family been there for 20 generations or something, like in England, any of the old countries, Spain, the old countries where there's whole lineages of family in one village, strong sense of community will enhance. And then above that, all of our initiation programs. So it's single moms at the lowest, nuclear family, sports, community, and initiations.
Yep.
And you're going to manifest more of your potential. That angel is inside of you. See?
We see. Is that graphic available in the Boy Crisis, or that's yours? That's yours. All right. Well, I'll make sure that gets out there. This might be the first episode I put up on YouTube. I haven't quite worked that out yet, but it's not hard. It's not
Make
hard.
sure,
I just haven't done it yet.
just save it. Make sure you edit it, clean it all up.
It's pretty clean, man. You
Yeah.
said
All right.
you were going to drop all sorts of bombs, and
Now,
I
we're
don't think
not
you
over
have,
yet.
man.
All right.
All right. I've got a burning question.
Sure.
It's not a question. It's a vulnerability.
Oh,
And so I'm a 48-year-old man.
Yeah.
I completed a carpentry apprenticeship. I built my own building business. Been doing that for 30 years. I am a fourth dan black belt in a traditional martial art.
Which one?
Tung Su Tao. In America, it's Tung Su Do.
Okay.
I have been involved in initiation work for 10 years. And I am a place to go for teenage boys. That's the feedback in my life shows me that I'm a place to go for teenage boys. I am still living below that line in that 0 to 10 years old in parts of my life. There's parts of me that still want to be nurtured. There's parts of me that still want comfort. And I'm also a man living above 20 years old who is a warrior, who goes out in the day. He gets it done. He gets his work done. He does what he has to do. He provides for his family. So what do we do when there's men like me who are incomplete, but we're facilitating this work?
Try not to burst out laughing and go, fucking bullshit. None of us are perfect. We're all we're gloriously imperfect. My buddy Earl Hip says, if you wait till you're fucking perfect, you'll be 900 years old. It's not going to happen. I got divorced back with foreclosure and men hate me, men love me. So what? So what? So what? Just get off your poor pity me shit. The good news and the bad news about MKP, they spend so fucking long dealing with their fucking wounds, they forget about it's egocentric. Go and help somebody else. That'll fix your damn wounds.
That's interesting. You're the second person to say that in 2 consecutive guests.
You want to know where your challenges are. What scares the shit out of you? Yeah, me too. Still, it never goes away. Still have the dragons, but you're not going to turn around and deal with all the dragons. Okay, now I can deal with the world. I started this when I was 35. It's no, it's not this and then that. It's all systems at once. You know, when they loaded the kids onto the boats for D-Day landing in 45 in Europe. Here's your gun, off you go. Good luck. And some of them didn't make it, and some did. You're not going to be perfect ever. Lord knows I'm not. I was talking to my buddy Mitch DeArm, who's a monster in this work. And I was saying, yeah, this, that, and the other. He said, yeah, Leslie, what's different about you is you fuck up all over the place, but you keep getting up and keep going. Every time you fuck up, it's just another lesson. So what? So, yeah, that's just whatever that little rationale you had. Well, congratulations on a massively successful life. Well, we've got already. You're in the top 1% of the planet. And the incremental little bit more, forget it'll happen. And the more you serve others, the more your own character is going to grow. That's what, yeah. One of the things for me is the more I am service and I serve my angels and helping out, I don't know, business seems to happen a little bit more. I
Yeah.
learn a little more. The magic happens more when
Mm.
you're operating this wave band, serving the planet and community. More magic happens when you're this band. Well, I got a money or from it. I got to tie up your camel and then praise out. Trusting Allah. Take care of your nuts and bolts for 5 days a week, and then 2 days a week go out and save the planet or
Mm.
whatever the formula is. But there's none of this. Every man I know that's doing this stuff, we all got our dragons. All the elders and shamans were all beaten up by one thing or another. So
Thanks, man. Mm. Is there anything more you think or feel or want to say on the topic?
I can go for days on this stuff. There's a good friend of mine, Andy Greenshaw. He's a professor at the University in Alberta, Englishman, but he's
Mm.
on was it psychology panels and social work, and his circumpolar indigenous communities. He's kind of way up there kind of guy, and we can't get rid of him for the week. He keeps showing up and keeps showing up. I say, how come he keeps showing up? And he says he's looked at all the programs around the world for social care for teenagers, and nothing on the planet can guarantee bang for your buck great results in 3 days. Otherwise, it's all months in therapy and pills and deprivations and nonsense. It's this stuff's become non-negotiable for me. There's no doubt. I hear other men that are, well, I'm not going to worry. Oh, yeah, there's worry. You leave the dragon to the door and you do the job because the world needs you. Next
Yeah.
generation needs you, and your daughter needs some good husbands.
Mm.
It's up to us.
Well, man, I feel to close that there because I do have to get out and tear down a literal brick wall to bring the money in. And
That'd be a metaphor for you.
it'll be one brick at a time too, literally. Fucking literally. That's today.
I'll make a story around each one of them.
My daddy didn't love me. My mummy wasn't there. I got a boo-boo on my elbow.
You want some cheese with that fucking whining?
Well, man, this has been beautiful. Yeah, I think the beauty of this call, this conversation was shaped by the effort we put in in our previous days, creating connection, and also the preparation that I put in, none of which I accessed because this call went the way it went.
Yeah.
I'm checking out with a lot of gratitude and I'm feeling empowered.
And for me up here in Canada, damn, you're amazing. Congratulations. You're fucking beautiful. Because you're doing it, and you're doing it in a little bit scared shitless and totally, and you think you don't know what you're doing. But you do because your angel's sitting over your right shoulder, like you got a little raven on your shoulder. And it's got to listen to it. So you wouldn't have stayed in this work for 10 years unless there's some greater power that's dragging you along. And it's for you to find it and listen to that exclusively. And just get your doubts and your monkeys out of your fucking head because it's just getting in the way.
Yeah.
So thank you for doing this. Hope it ripples out somewhere else. Yeah, do it again. We'll talk about details or God knows whatever else. I've done this for 40 years and I only exist to give it away one way or another. So, and there's 1 billion male teenagers out there facing a 50-year career being a man and no fucking idea. It's up to me and you.
Out with that. Thank you, Mr. Brad Leslie.
Love you guys.